All right, the time is now 6 p.m. Our regular city council meeting for January 21st, 2025 is now in session. First on the agenda is Councilmember Brown will lead us with the opening prayer and the pledges of allegiance to the flags of the United States and the state of Texas. Please rise.
Good evening. Let us pray. Thank you, Lord, for the snow day we just had today without any major issues. And thank you for the smooth elections that we've just had in our city. Additionally, thank you for the new administration and give them guidance for leading our country as you've given us guidance for leading our city. This is a busy time in our nation, it's a busy time in our city, a busy time in the state. We have new legislature coming in, issues to be worked throughout the year. Just give us the strength to work with them all gracefully and with the right direction. With that, we pray, amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Councilmember Brown. First, we have proclamations. We have the School Board Recognitions Month, and Councilmember Westbrook will be reading the proclamations. If I can please have the representatives from the Schertz, Cibolo, Universal City ISD, please join me up here, and also the Judson Independent School District, please join us up here by the podium.
Good evening. School Board Recognition Month 2025. Whereas in the month of January 2025, East Central Independent School District, Judson Independent School District, Randolph Field Independent School District, Founders Academy, and Schertz Cibolo Universal City Independent School Districts in the city of Schertz will celebrate School Board Recognition Month to recognize the dedication and hard work of school board trustee members. And whereas the mission of public schools is to meet the educational needs of all children, to empower them to become competent, productive contributors to a democratic society and an ever-changing world. And whereas school board members are strong advocates for public education and are responsible for communicating the needs of the schools to the public and the public's expectations to the district. And whereas to create an educational vision for the students, school board members work closely with parents, educational professionals, and other community leaders. Now therefore, Ralph Gutierrez, Mayor of the City of Schertz, in recognition thereof, does hereby proclaim January 2025 to be School Board Recognition Month. And he urges all citizens to join him in recognizing the dedication and hard work of local school board members and in working with them to mold an educational system that meets the needs of both today's and tomorrow's children. Thank you.
Thank you so much from your neighbors down the road. We truly appreciate the partnership that we have as we work together as school board trustees to provide a bright future for our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate this. This is a outstanding recognition. It's not very often that we get recognized in such a manner. So I really appreciate the City of Schertz and for this recognition. I'd like to take a moment to introduce the rest of my board that's here. My board secretary, Glenda Evans, my board assistant secretary, Amy Thomas, trustee Dan Swart, trustee Jerry Perkins, I'll get right in a minute, and trustee Margaret Carlin. One other pet trustee is not here, she is away, and I will tell you right now, without the 7 of us and with our superintendent, Ms. Paige Maloney, we would not have the good school district we have, and I think it's a direct reflection on the City of Schertz and also the City of Cibolo. So I really appreciate this proclamation, and I look forward to continuing with our efforts to work with the City of Schertz in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You know, being a trustee or being on the school board, they take care of the most precious resource that we have, our kids. And it's not easy with the number of different characters, different challenges that you all face. And we just want to say thank you. thank you for everything you do for our community and, like I said, for our children. Appreciate it.
Mayor, appreciate it.
Paige? Paige, are you coming?
She was taking pictures.
All right, next on the agenda, we have the presentation of the fiscal year 2023-2024 Parks, Recreation, and Annual Report. This presentation has been postponed until our next scheduled meeting. So we'll move on to our next one, discussion and consideration of the forthcoming finances of the Schertz Seguin local government bond issuance. Mr. James.
Thank you, Mayor. Brian James, Deputy City Manager. Just real quick, as most of you know, we're a city, we are in SSLGC. They provide our water. One of the things with that organization is that when they want to issue debt, the city of Schertz as well as the city of Seguin have to approve that. So they would like to issue debt coming up, but to explain more on that, I'm going to introduce Andrew T. Friedman. He is the Senior Managing Director with Public Finance with Samco Capital Markets, as well as Jack McCliney to sort of explain how much and what and why, and provide you the schedule. So with that, I'll turn it over to Andrew.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. Pleasure to be before you all. As Mr. James was explaining, when SSLGC, which City of Schertz is a 50% owner in the corporation along with the City of Seguin, wishes to borrow money to make capital improvements, both the City of Seguin and the City of Schertz have to approve any bond sale. And so tonight is just really informational and a presentation for you all that the corporation does wish to borrow an amount not to exceed $15 million for certain improvements to the system. We would be back, and on Thursday of last week, the corporation adopted a parameter sale resolution so that they've taken the action necessary, which the cities now need to ratify. That will come back to you all at your February 18th City Council meeting. City of Seguin will take action that same day at their council meeting. Once both of the cities have authorized the corporation to proceed, the corporation will then enter into the bond market to price its bonds and with approval at that point, with the designated pricing officers being the board president and general manager of the corporation to lock in interest rates, close, and then ultimately proceed with the improvements once the funds are delivered. This financing, part of their capital improvement plan, it's been factored into your capital improvement plan and the city's utility rates already, so that's all baked in. And so with that, I'm happy to answer questions that you have. Mr. Williams or Mr. James, if I've left anything out that you believe is pertinent for the council, I'm certainly happy to double back and clarify, but that's really all I've got for you this evening. We'll be back on February 18th with that formal approval from you all by resolution.
Thank you. Council, floor is open for discussion. There's no discussion at this point. I think everybody is very familiar with SSLGC and exactly the services that are being provided, and of course the capital improvements that are needed. Thank you so much for the presentation. Appreciate it.
Very welcome. Thank you all.
All right, we'll move on to city events and announcements. Announcements of upcoming events. Mr. James?
Thank you. Just as to let folks know, this Friday and Saturday, January 24th and 25th, there is the Read Before book sale. That's from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Schertz Library on Schertz Parkway. A couple of programs that the library has as well. Sunday, January 26th is the Easy Reading Workshop. It helps teach adults how to support children in learning to read. That's from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Thursday, the 30th, they have a session, Medicare 101. That is at 6 p.m. at the library. Parks on Saturday, February 1st is hosting the Mother-Son, Daddy and Daddy-Daughter Dance, 4 to 6 p.m. On Saturday, February 1st for the Mother-Son Dance, 7 to 9 p.m. for the Daddy-Daughter Dance. You can check the city's website for sign-up information. Our next council meeting will be to canvass the runoff election. That'll be January 28th here at council chambers. Though I believe the time is different, so check the website. And then our next regular meeting is February 4th back here.
Thank you, Mr. James. Announcements and recognitions by our city manager, Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to give a couple of kudos to the staff and just want to say thank you to everybody who worked so hard in planning for our bad weather day that we had. There's a lot that goes into it in preparation, and we were fortunate that it wasn't worse than it turned out to be, but everybody worked very hard and worked during the event as well. So virtually all the city departments involved in that planning effort and making sure that we're squared away. Also, I wanted to just give kudos to our fire personnel. So fire personnel and assets from around Texas have been deployed to Los Angeles to help with the fires out there, including several departments from our area. Last week, Schertz Fire sent Carl Schultze, Patricia Wilson, Tyler Winnetka, and Amanda Matthews on a 2-week deployment. Also, John Perry has been deployed as part of the medical support response team. So say a little prayer for those guys. They have 1 more week in their deployment. Also, we were fortunate and had the privilege of hosting the 2025 Chamber Leadership Corps class to talk about municipal government and then have them participate in a mock city council meeting. We were able to give them a firsthand look at the city's decision-making process. And thanks to the Chamber and all of our staff who made that happen, it was a big success. So that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Announcements and recognitions by the mayor. I have several announcements here. First, special thanks and gratitude to our EMS crew who are assisting with the California fires, as our city manager mentioned. And also, our city council member Brown indicated the number of elections and everybody that took office this past couple weeks. Congratulations to our new president, Donald J. Trump. Our U.S. Senator Cruz won his election. Our Congressman Henry Cuellar and also Congressman Greg Casar. Our State Senator Donna Campbell and our State Rep Alan Schoolcraft. And as Mr. James mentioned, we are canvassing the vote for our City Council Place Forward next week on the 28th at 5:30. We'll move on. Next is a hearing of residents. This time is set aside for any person who wishes to address the City Council. Each person is limited to 3 minutes, and we ask before addressing the council, for the record, please state your name and address. Mayor Pro Tem, please call first speaker.
Ben Guerrero.
Mr. Mayor, City Council, Mr. Williams, thank you for this opportunity. I, Benjamin Guerrero, living in 506 Capicourt Lane, want to take this time to thank all registered voters in Schertz who came out and voted during the special election on 14 December 2024 and the runoff election on 18 January 2025. I also want to thank the Guadalupe County Conservative Republicans for their, the Schertz Police Association for their endorsement, and Mr. Roy Richard for his endorsement. During the runoff election, all engaged registered voters displayed their patriotism by coming to the community center to vote, which decided the outcome of this election for City Council Place 4. In addition, I congratulate Tim Dusick for his efforts during his campaign. In closing, I want to thank the entire Schertz leadership for the opportunity to speak. Thank you all.
Josh Pollock, he's speaking on item, you're going to speak now or item 7?
I just had a quick comment.
Oh, go ahead.
Josh Pollock, thank you, Mayor, City Manager, City Council, for your time here. We just want to let you guys know we are here present tonight. We'll be here after your executive session if there are questions about the SER that we could be helpful with. We'd love your support on that item, obviously, and also happy to find a way forward. Thank you.
Nick Dyer. You're good? Thank you. Maggie Titterington.
Good evening, Council. We have quite a few things going on, especially the last week of January. Obviously, we had to cancel our luncheon today, but I think in view of the weather and the safety of our members and everyone involved, that was a good call. We will be doing our State of the Chamber address, which is our annual we have to have meeting for our membership in March, because next month is the very highly anticipated State of the Cities. So cannot wait to see the videos and the presentations and all the exciting things that are going on. So anyways, everybody that was RSVP'd for the luncheon today is going to be transferred to February's unless we get an email from you all saying you don't want to have that done. The Bob Mills ribbon cutting changed. It was the 23rd. It is now the 31st. We did send that update out to everyone. I just want to make sure you have it. So the 31st of January at 10 a.m., we will be doing their official ribbon cutting. Bob Mills himself will be there. So I hope you all can attend. The day prior to that, on the 30th, James Family Tax, which is right up Schertz Parkway, will be doing their grand opening at their location at 10 a.m. as well. On the 29th, this is all in the same week, I don't know what I was thinking, we have our Epic Education class. It's the first one of the year. We do these quarterly, and it's going to be funding your small businesses. The Small Business Association with the SBDC UTSA, they're going to be putting this on, and they're going to be showing our businesses that are needing money to perhaps build a business or expand their business where they can find those grants and the money sources, as well as talk about the services they offer, which are free consulting, how to do your business plans, things like that. And these are all free offerings. So they'll be putting this on from 8 to 11 a.m. on the 29th at the Schertz Civic Center. And last but not least, our annual Health and Home Show is going to be Saturday, February 1st from 10 to 1 p.m. At both sides in the Civic Center, so the Bluebonnet Hall as well as the Grand Ballroom. We have close to 70 vendors again. Methodist Hospital Northeast is our sponsor, and we also have Schertz Civil Emergency Clinic and Baptist Neighborhood Hospital signing on with that. So it's free for the public to come out, free flu shots, health screening, also service providers from plumbers to roofers. So please, residents, come on out, and that is all I have. Thank you.
Next is our consent agenda items. These are considered self-explanatory, and information packets are provided to council and available for public viewing. These items require no separate discussion unless requested by council. Item number 1, minutes. Item number 2, appointments, reappointments, and resignations. Item number 3, resolution number 25R007. Item number 4, resolution number 25R001. Item number 5, resolution number 25R012. Council, do any of these need to be removed for separate action? See none, is there a motion to approve consent agenda items 1 through 5?
So move. Second.
We have a motion made by Councilmember Watson and second by Councilmember Hayward. Any other comments? Council, please cast your vote. We can publish the vote, please. We We have 6 ayes, no objections, motion passes. We'll move on to item number 6, discussion item, ordinance number 25S004, consideration amendments to Part 3 of the Schertz Code of Ordinances, Unified Development Code, to Article 11, Section 21.11.6, prohibited signs, and Section 25.11.17, temporary signs. Is the staff ready to discuss on this presentation?
No, sir, we had desired it to be discussed
Okay.
next meeting.
Should we go ahead and leave it as a table item or? Council, any comments? We'll leave it as table. All right, we'll go ahead and leave it as tabled item. So we'll move on to item number 7, resolution number 25R005, approving a utility service extension requested for the Woman Hollering Townhomes. Now, this item requires that council consult with our attorney. Therefore, we will return after our closed session, which is item number 8. So item number 8 is the city council will meet in closed session in accordance with the Texas Governmental Code, section 551.071, to consult with legal counsel regarding the city's legal rights and obligations within its certificate utility service areas lying in the extraterritorial jurisdiction. The time is now 6:21. We will reconvene after our session. Team, we convene into a regular session after our discussion and deliberation regarding our closed session in reference to item number 7 with possible action, and also item number 9. Our start time was 6:27. Our end time was 7:11. At this point, we are going to table item number 7. It will be brought back up for discussion on our next meeting. So no action is required at this time. So we'll move on to our workshops. We have a workshop discussion on the integration of the Space Force into our Veterans Memorial Plaza. This workshop discussion has been postponed also until our next scheduled meeting. So our next item is item number 11, January 2025 Quarterly Streets Update. Ms. Novak, floor is yours.
Before I get started, just a quick brief on this morning. I tried to send out an update on the ice conditions on our roadways. My computer was obviously cold and it didn't want to wake up early this morning either. So, but rest assured, our streets were safe. Our crews were out all night, making sure that any areas that needed to be addressed were addressed, and they'll be out again tonight, reassuring our safety of our citizens and anybody traveling through our city. So. I'd like to get started. If you're looking at the screen, bear with me. So keep in mind on the streets maintenance dashboard, the date, October 1st through December 31st. This is our quarterly results of our program here. Looking at this, at the map that's currently up there, let's see if I can increase the size. Oops. Did I mess it up, John? Here we go. So looking at the current completed results, remember that this is when we started the program, the first page showed our quarterly results. Go over to the left. I'll take you to the pothole. So everything in blue represents potholes throughout our city that were repaired. Either a complete repair or a temporary repair. Looking at the map, you can see where some areas of significance were mainly behind Randolph, Lower Seguin Road. Some of our rural roads, you will see the repairs. Trainer Hill, File Road, these were all down south of the city. And then a couple areas around Old Wiederstein between Schertz Parkway and Schertz, Selma city limits. And then we have some through Aviation Heights area of Schertz. Some of the major ones, Lindbergh, a couple of the older streets there. And as you can see, some areas doesn't show any potholes within the area. Those are our newly developed areas. You can actually click on to any one of these. I'll give you a little update. Let me see if I can find one. And it'll actually show you the repair. This is a temporary repair. Some areas on Lower Seguin Road, if you look at the picture, you will see significant cracking in the pavement. So a lot of those repairs were done temporarily because of the current conditions of the roadway. And then we'll jump over to the sidewalk. The map represents any sidewalks that were issues through the sidewalk, whether it be utility repair, we removed the concrete, or if it was a complaint because of a trip hazard. And some of these, I'm not really sure if we entered on the contractor piece. Let me see if I can, oops. Do it again, John. You can click on the dots and it shows the repairs, and it'll give you an address and a picture of the repair. We've tried to update to do a before and after, but we're still currently working on the program. So, bear with us on that one. And so I'll move forward. So the next one is our street issues. So looking at the map again, again, you can the street issues is anywhere where we've gone in and done a major repair, whether it was around a manhole cover, anything that not related to a pothole. These were areas that were larger than 10 by 10. See if I can give you an example without messing up the screen. There's an area there where we came in and did a repair. Some instances they're much larger. Thanks to council for getting us the spreader box and the laydown machine, we were able to do some much bigger patches throughout the city. Let's see if I can find you. There's an area where we use the laydown machine. So we're with the new equipment that we have, we're able to go in there and to address some of the bigger issues we have on the pavement. We also have, Larry, am I missing it? Other, which we're working on, where we will be inputting sign maintenance, whether it be a damaged sign from an accident or just an old sign. We're going in with a program, and we'll be entering in this map as well to show older subdivisions where we've gone in and replaced old defaced signs or faded signs and standard. Currently, we have some signs that we're trying to get them up to the MUTCD standard. So that will be hopefully updated here soon. We're working with IT on that program. And I think it's not letting me go back.
It's not in the
Again, I'm sorry, that's okay. So this is a current map here of all of our sidewalks within the city. I know it's a little hard, but I keep messing it up. So if you look to the right, it says it's got it color-coded sidewalks that are, and I can't read the writing there, it's kind of small, compliant sidewalks. If you look in the red is where we have missing sidewalks, and as you can see in the red, it's more in the older subdivision, Aviation Heights. We have some sidewalks on one side of the road, some sidewalks we don't have on the other side of the road. And then in the yellow, we have where we have sidewalks, but they're not compliant. They're not up to city standard, is which we would like to have. Could be other issues in those too as well. And you can see the length. This is a program we just started working on, so there'll be more updates to come on this program here. And then, of course, this is our next, this is our crack sealing program. We got a little slow start this year, but so far we've completed 1.68 miles. You can see the amount of material we've used. A couple of the streets we addressed in the North Cliff area. These were areas where they a couple years ago they did a total reconstruction, and we're just trying to keep the maintenance up on the road and addressing any cracks that may come about. And then we also addressing areas, Elbell Road, some of the areas that were on the past SPAM CIP projects that we want to make sure we're upkeeping and staying on top of those roads as well. And of course, this is some of our other areas that we address, some of our bigger patches you can see on the far right. We did a pretty good repair on that area. It shows the total potholes for the quarter, the total street issues for the quarter, and then the amount of material, the UPM pothole patch material, and then of course the amount of hot mix that we've purchased in that quarter. And then some of the larger street repairs, you'll see 4120 Cherry Tree, Cibolo Valley Drive, El Bell Road, and Exchange. We did some major repairs in that area. The UPM, it stands for Unique Paving Material. We've gone through a lot of different vendors for pothole material, and this works the best for us, and we're able to buy it by the ton. So it's the reason we stick with that. A lot of times they want to sell it to you by the bag, and it's much more expensive that way. So. And if you don't have any questions, I will turn it over to John.
Well, before you do, thank you for the spread, the numbers. They're very impressive. And that's one thing that, what we wanted to do is show our residents that we are actively working the issues, the potholes that have been identified. And if they haven't been worked on, it's because they have not been identified. As you can see, the number is close to 1,000 potholes. Thank you. Thanks for the staff to addressing these. Well, please
Thanks
continue.
to y'all for the purchase of the pothole truck. It's been a great for us, and we're able to utilize it as best possible. So,
Great job,
address
guys.
And Mayor, if I could add, just as a reminder, we do have the interactive dashboard tool on the website under the Public Works page where you can go in, you can select your own. How much did we do this month? How much did we do all year? And it changes the numbers for you, and you can click directly on it and pull up those pictures that Robert was showing you.
So we're working with IT. We're training our guys. We've reached out to Larry to allow us some iPads that we could take in the field. So when we actually do the street repair, pothole, sign installation, we click it and it enters it right away. We're trying to eliminate the paperwork. So the program with IT is working out really great. It's just we got to continue the training on it.
All right. Thank you, Robert. Council, you have any questions for Robert? Okay, Derry.
If I could, just for a second, Brian mentioned it. So we do have so we're identifying the potholes. So with the weather that we had, obviously wet weather, with the freezing rain, it's going to pop out a lot. So again, we have that, you can call in 311 work orders, but you can also see it online, the work that we've done. And so you're going to see a lot more potholes on the streets. We're going to be out working on it, especially. So that's going to be, you're going to see a lot more of those now. We're going to be concentrating on them again. Appreciate the patch truck so we can keep that asphalt hot and we can work through the city instead of having to prepare a bunch of areas, run back and forth. And then also we're working on the asset management software and a big part of that. So this first phase we're not going to be in, unfortunately, for the streets. We're going to incorporate in the second phase. It's going to happen next year, streets maintenance. So we'll be able to track and report those numbers a lot better, right? So we did this precursor dashboard GIS put together for us to help out a lot. Once we get that asset management software fully implemented, we'll be able to pull a lot more report details going forward. So hopefully in the next year or so, after a few more quarterly reports, we'll be able to present that information a little differently and have a lot more stats for you, so we can just help out.
Thank you, guys.
Yep.
Council, any comments? All right, we'll move on then. Requests and announcements. Council. Oh, John, you're.
Good evening,
My
Mayor and
apologies.
Council.
Go ahead.
Asphalt, that's the word on the street. Here to talk, give you an update on our spam efforts. 2024's spam resurfacing project, that's our slurry seal program. We've completed the concrete and base repairs in the Northcliffe area. You recall we're doing some streets up in that general area. Our contractor right now is working on the prep work in the Kensington Ranch and Savannah Bluff areas. They have completed some of that work, but the colder weather, the rainy weather hasn't really been conducive to that, so it's taking a little bit longer to get through that. But they will be continuing to work through the project, and we're anticipating applying the slurry seal on all the streets in the program this spring. The cost of that is about 2.4 million. The rehabilitation project, these are streets that we need to do, but they need more than just resurfacing. So we're doing a little bit more effort on those. So it's a smaller in terms of mileage project, but they tend to be more per street because it's more work. We're advertising for bids this month. We anticipate opening on the 13th of February and have a contract award recommendation to you the first meeting of March. Now with this project, like we always run into with all these projects, as we start getting in design, start finalizing them, working towards that bid package, we sometimes encounter things that require us to make some changes. In this particular case, if you remember back early on, Schertz Forest was one of the subdivisions that was in the program. We had to delay the street work on that, and the reason for that is there's a water line that needs to be replaced. In the main road, there's actually a couple different street names that goes through that subdivision. We don't want to go work on the streets and then tear them up to have to replace a utility. So we're having to slide that project back a little bit. So what we're doing is similar to what we're doing with the Buffalo Valley South project, where we're kind of combining the street work and the utility work. So you will see upcoming a task order to do the water line replacement design, and that'll go forward as its own standalone project. We'll replace the water line, then we'll do the street work right after the water line is replaced. Columbia Drive was also one of the streets in the North Cliff area that we were going to try to resurface with the program. Unfortunately, we ran into a few snags with that. The soils keep moving around up there, which happens with some of our clays that are in our community. You see surface movement in the pavement. It starts out kind of smooth, and it starts turning into a little bit of a roller coaster. What we've really noticed from when we first looked at them to when we look at them again as we go through the design process a few months later, we've seen rapid deterioration in that street. The base failures have gotten much larger, and we've seen large cracks in the pavement. Not just the smaller cracks that we go out and crack seal, the Public Works Department does. These started out that way, then a month later, these opened up. They're not only really wide, but they've cracked all the way through the pavement layer. You can look through the crack and you can see the gravel and the dirt underneath them. So we need to do more than just a resurfacing on the street. So we looked at different options, and our best recommendation, because of the soil movement, we've got to address the clay movement to really give a finished product that's going to last the service life we expect it to. So we need to reconstruct the street. So we're going beyond rehabilitation. We're having to go into full-blown reconstruction to reduce that subgrade movement. It's going to be more costly. It means it's going to be a project on its own. It's going to cost about $1 million more than what rehabilitation would cost. That's about 50% more than what rehabilitation would cost. Other projects. So I'm looking ahead to the 2025 list. So our consultant's working on a scope and fee proposal for that. Slurry seal work. The areas are going to include Rio Vista. That one, actually, we've done our last bit of coordination with the Public Works Department. We're going to have to delay that one because we've got another water line that needs to be replaced in River Road, so we're probably going to have to bump that. The Village, Jonas Woods, Woodbridge, and Woodland Oaks subdivisions, and then some individual streets, Verde Enterprise, Business Parkway, Mid-Cities Parkway, Corridor Loop Road, that's the little loop road that goes around Schlotzsky's and stuff up there, Chili's. Baugh Lane, Bell North. Now, Bell North, I want to talk about that one a little bit because we do have a sewer line extension project that's going to be designed and done as a separate project because it's small enough. We're going to get that done first, but we'll still be able to do the street work, we think, in the same fiscal year because it's a small enough project. Baugh Lane, Four Oaks Lane, and Wiederstein Road, not the part that's in really bad shape between Schertz Parkway and Selma city limits, but the other section. from Schertz Parkway to 3009. That would be a resurfacing project. It wouldn't be slurry seal because that's a busier traveled road. It would be a mill and overlay. We also have a rehabilitation project planned for our 2025 SPAN program. And that would be the Kramer Farm subdivision. You know, the streets may not look too bad when you drive on them, but we've got a lot of base failures, a lot of big cracking in there. And when we get to a certain point where you have so many base failures on an individual street, it's actually more cost effective to try to go in and patch all of them to just do a rehabilitation. So when those streets they deteriorate to that point, we have to take them out of slurry seal and put them into rehabilitation. We have other projects going on. I mentioned it briefly earlier, the Buffalo Valley South project. We've awarded the construction contract. We're expecting to start construction this spring, and that's going to be replacing both water and sewer lines and then rehabilitating all the streets. Schertz Forest, I also mentioned that's one we kind of had to delay a little bit, but we're going to do the water line replacement and then we'll do the street work. We expect to have the task order agreement before you for approval at your February 4th meeting. Banig reconstruction. That's a piece from Ware Seguin Road to Graytown. Now, if you can think back in time, that particular street started out as a county road. And the pavement that you see out there, most of it is basically layer after layer of chip seal over time. It became a city street. And everything was fine. It kind of performed pretty well until development occurred. Now we're getting a lot more traffic on the road, and the sections out there just can't handle the traffic that's out there. So we need to reconstruct it, get a better section that can support the traffic. This was supposed to be on tonight's agenda for approval to get the design going. Unfortunately, it didn't make it through the whole process, so it'll be on the February 4th council agenda for approval. Lower Seguin Road. Talked about this one a little bit before too. We've been working on the preliminary design. The preliminary design is getting close to being complete. The environmental clearance effort is underway. That's what's going to take a little bit more time to get that particular task order fully done. We expect to have a final design task order, taking it from preliminary design and environmental clearance to final design to get it closer to shovel ready. We expect to have that before you for approval at the February 4th meeting also. And we're continuing to have meetings with Randolph personnel and with the DCIP funding. I always get that acronym wrong. It's the federal funding source that we're going after to help pay for the reconstruction of the road. But our goal is, if we can get all the things to line up the way we want them to, we're hopeful we can apply for that DCIP funding, this funding call this summer, which will get us to construction sooner on that road rather than later. Main Street. This is a complicated project. It's taken a lot of coordination. We have been doing a bunch of back and forth with GVEC, particularly real recently here, making sure we've got their relocation items coordinated with the improvements that we want to make on Main Street. GVEC is real close to having their 60% relocation plans done. Once we have those, we can finalize our plans, and we'll be expecting to get the water and sewer replacement work out late spring and head to construction on that this year, this summer. That's our goal. We think it's achievable. Also want to let you know that GVEC expects to start doing some of their relocation effort also this summer. The first thing you're going to see is they're not going to be working in Main Street. They'll actually be working on Exchange. They need to upgrade the convert it from the existing power that's there to three-phase power so they can do the undergrounding on Main Street. So you're going to see some activity going on out on the Main Street project this summer. Lookout Road. We're still coordinating the CPS and some other dry utilities, trying to get the conflicts addressed before we bid the job. And we're also starting to acquire the right-of-way we need at the Schertz Parkway and Door Lane intersection. We're doing a little bit of widening at those intersections, remember, so we can accommodate the left turning movements better for the larger vehicles. That's all I have right now. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, John. Council, floor is open for discussion. No questions. Thank you. All right, on. Question and announcements. Council, any possible updates or information requested from staff? Council, any possible items you'd like to place on the future agenda? Seeing none, we'll go with announcements by council members. Mayor Pro Tem Westbrook.
Nothing this evening, Mayor.
Councilmember Davis.
Nothing tonight, sir.
Councilmember Watson.
Nothing at this time.
Councilmember Macaluso.
Nothing, sir.
Councilmember Hayward.
Yes, I attended the 89th swearing in of the legislature for Representative Allen Schoolcraft. Did the TML legislative update with bills that were filed. You should have gotten an email from Sheila on that. I was able to attend an American Public Works Association webinar on life cycle modeling for local government. Did the emceeing for the Traps for the Unwary for TML, and I attended a regional meeting, Region 8 in White Settlement as the TML president. That's all.
Okay. Councilmember Brown.
Nothing tonight, sir.
All right, the time is now 7:41. We stand adjourned.